we're now being joined by Igwebuike Ijeoma, someone who makes environmental assets out of environmental problems. He's also a board member of the Climate Strategies in the UK. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
Maybe we should take it off from, that conversation by the women around clean and green gas. How important is this conversation now, and how feasible really is it at a time like this when domestic cooking gas is, I can tell you.
Well,
yes, thank you for that question.
Prohibitive.
Yes, I think it's a step in the right direction. It's a work on development. If you are looking at it in the context of women, Nigerian women dying, almost 90,000 of them, dying from using firewood, traditional firewood cook stoves. So this is really a step in the right direction. But the issue is the sustainability of government policies. Like you said, the price of gas, skyrocketing. So that's really unfortunate, and government needs to come out strongly to really make sure that we have sufficient. It is shameful that Nigeria is a gas nation, and we cannot afford, our women cannot afford the price of cooking gas. So that's really something that the government has to take up very seriously. And in the last 2 weeks or so, last week, we had some cheering news that LNG, they will now be supplying the local markets with LPG. So that's really a welcome development. But then the issue is sustainability of these initiatives. Like in 2019, we got a grant from the UK government to now get the rural women to now abandon firewood cooking. Because if you look at it, you're going to, it's driving deforestation. So Nigeria is one of the countries losing the forest cover, globally.
Rapidly.
Rapidly, globally. So it's really, it ties, if we're going to have this kind of, I think we should be talking about subsidy transition if we really want to make a success of our energy transition. So these women, we need to find a way, to subsidize gas for them, because when we are doing that, we're also investing in sustaining our forest and preventing rapid deforestation. So I'm really elated. I'm very happy that this is happening.
Yeah, good one there, for the women to come up with this kind of initiative. And we know the federal government, through Mr. President, had said that they're going to plant over 10 million trees. The awareness of it is become the problem. How much do we disseminate to the rural people, not to just talk of the urban dwellers alone, who still use firewood, who still use charcoal?
And they are the ones who need this messaging.
Yeah.
So it's really to, level out what you have on paper in the policy documents and what is actually on the ground. We've not been making enough investment in awareness creation and really building capacity and knowledge management in this respect. So the National Orientation Agency have not really taken up these issues very seriously.
And enviropreneurs like you too, the NGOs and all those non-governmental bodies would have thought that by now they would have,
made a lot of impact.
Accelerate.
Yes, we are doing our best. Remember that in 2019, we actually did try out a model that succeeded. It was oversubscribed. In the farthest to reach rural areas without LPG infrastructure, we were able to get the women to start using LPG. So 12 months, 10 months down the line, the price of LPG, they couldn't afford it. And they were calling us to now say that we've put them in a very difficult situation, because they already abandoned the firewood and enjoying their newfound, the cleaner cooking alternative, which they are enjoying.
Beyond that, I know you were at COP26. Christian was just alluding to that fact before we came on. Africa contributes very little to global, warming.
Emission or warm,
at the receiving end of a major impact of it. What are we looking at in terms of, remediation,
compensation to Africa?
Yes.
Very quickly. I think our leaders have not really been forceful and pushing this since Meles Zenawi, the former Ethiopian Prime Minister, died. It seemed that Africa we lost our voice on that global platform. We are not doing enough, to push for adaptation and resilience building, which is where our interest. That's where we have our interest: adaptation and resilience building, and not necessarily mitigation. So for us, we should be pursuing adaptation, climate change adaptation, and resilience building with mitigation co-benefits.
But how do we do that? I mean, especially on the adaptation end of it.
It's for us to see that you cannot really divorce the environment from your economy, right? In fact, the healthier you have, if you have a healthy environment, it means that you are going to have a healthy economy. Yeah. So, but politicians over time, they've really either they didn't understand this or they still do not understand it, that the economy is actually a subset of the environment, because everything, the economy draws from the environment. So adaptation is key for us. And we have to really push to raise the profile of adaptation.
You've raised a very germane issue there, because from one of the fallouts of COP26 is about coal-fired plants, coal utilization, which China, India, and Canada almost had the loggerhead, and of course the communique had to be tempered, you understand, to soothe and accommodate them. But in Africa, coal, apart from South Africa and maybe one or two southern African countries where they use fired coal for generation and the rest, what happens to our coal from Enugu to Nkalagu to Kogi, and across some of the lower savannas? We've lost out?
Yeah, not that we really lost out. If you look at it, I was trying to explain how the environment affects health, economy, livelihood, and all of that. So if you are insisting on burning coal, where you have gas. So we have gas, and we have not really been able to manage it, to use it to power our own economy. If you are burning coal, it means, right, that you are incinerating lungs. And because Nigerian cities, we have a lot of pollution here. Absolutely. So it's a generator economy. It's an economy being powered by fossil fuel generators.
30 seconds. I need you to address this very quickly. When some of the agencies, NDLEA, NAFDAC, pick some, expired drugs and all of that, they burn it. I don't know how do you feel when you see the smoke, the plume coming from those?
It doesn't make me proud to be, to be in a country where these things happen, because government is one, right? These agencies are working for the same government, so it's like the same children, different children of the same father. So why is it that what the Ministry of Environment is doing, these people, Standard Organization of Nigeria, they are still incinerating tires and all of that,
but
putting a lot of toxins.
You see that on the Nigerian roads now, as roadblocks at night.
Really, that's why I said, these things have to be very holistic, right? So every agency, it's either you are affecting the environment or the environment is affecting you. So that's really what we need to really push out there.
Thanks very much. Igwebuike Ijeoma is an Enviropreneur and board member, Climate Strategies of UK, for sharing your thoughts with us.